I can't sleep sometimes because I worry for my future.
Ulambile khona kadli lutho.
أنا كنت خايفة لأن انفجر برميل هيجي صار أحمر ورانا.
I want my kid to have more opportunity than me.
At Dan Church Aid, we believe that everyone has the right to a dignified life. That is why we have been working for 100 years to save lives, build resilient communities, and fight extreme inequality. This is our story, a story of 100 years of hope and action. World War I has left Europe in ruins. As a response to the humanitarian need on both sides of the trenches, the Danish theologian Alfred Theodor Jorgensen lays the foundation for Dan Church Aid. This becomes the beginning of the world's first church-based relief organisation. No one imagined that the need for humanitarian relief would last more than a few years. But soon after, World War II breaks out, and we take on the task to help starving children and widows in the Nordic countries and German refugees after the war. At the beginning of the 1950s, the aid begins to extend beyond Europe's borders as thousands of Palestinians are displaced from their land. Dan Church Aid helps the refugees and supports Augusta Victoria Hospital. In the 1960s, a large number of African colonies liberate themselves and become independent nations. The new countries are left impoverished, and there is a great need for agricultural development, healthcare, and schools. This becomes the start of DCA's long-term development assistance. In 1979, Desmond Tutu becomes a transformative figure in our work. He convinces us that we also need to combat the causes of poverty and oppression and to promote democracy and human rights. That becomes the starting point of our advocacy work. At the end of the 90s, the Balkan Wars has created a need for clearing mines and unexploded ordnances. Dan Church Aid leads the mission to clear Kosovo for mines. This becomes the starting point for Dan Church Aid's humanitarian relief and mine action in a large number of the world's hotspots today. By the turn of the millennium, more than 1 billion people have been lifted out of poverty. More children than ever are going to school and child mortality is falling. But the progress among the world's poorest is short-lived. Wars, natural disasters and climate change mean that today there are more than 100 million refugees and internally displaced persons. And since 2020, COVID-19 has pushed hundreds of millions of people back into extreme poverty. Most recently, the war on Ukraine has caused millions of people to flee and worsened the global food crisis. That is why Dan Church Aid is needed more than ever. Today, Dan Church Aid is a part of the Global ACT Alliance, which is a collaboration between faith-based relief aid and development organisations in 120 countries. Together, we reach people in need, regardless of religion, gender, sexual orientation, race, or political beliefs. Together, we work on solving challenges through long-term, close cooperation with more than 200 local partners, church and humanitarian organisations and businesses. Together, we save lives. Together, we build resilient communities. Together, we fight extreme inequality. Together, we are putting the climate on the international agenda. We are introducing new drought-resistant crops, collecting rainwater, and preventing floods. We are planting trees that absorb CO2 and provide shade and fruit. Together, we enable people in need to become stronger, smarter, and self-sustainable. Much has changed since Alfred Theodor Jorgensen founded Dan Church Aid, but our Christian values have not. we are constantly working toward a world where everyone has the right to a dignified life. This is our story, and this is our mission for the next 100 years.